Hey guys, it's time for chapter 6 of 50 Shades of Grey, in which absolutely nothing happens. Let the nightmares begin. So, there's not a lot to talk about, because really nothing happens in this chapter. Christian takes Anastasia home after the whole hotel thing, and we find out he has very eclectic tastes in music. Everything from Thomas Tallis to the Kings of Leon. So apparently he likes to listen to 16th century British composers, and then, appropriately enough, Sex on Fire by the Kings of Leon starts playing in the car when he's taking her home. So get reminded that this is a fan fiction for Twilight, yet again. Blah blah blah. They start kind of arguing, and she asks him, "Why do you insist on calling me by my full name?" And he says, "Because it's your name." And she's like, "Well, I prefer my nickname, Anna." And he's like, "Do you now?" And then he continues to call her by her full name, even though she's insisted that she prefers prefers her nickname, which would be really hella annoying, because I sure as hell know, with my name, I prefer people to call me by my full name rather than by nicknames, just because I'm more comfortable with it, and it shows, like, a certain amount of respect that you're putting in the effort to say it correctly, and because it has so many syllables. But that's just me. Maybe I'm just time maintenance. But so is Anastasia Steele. So, anyway, you get reminded that he and his brother Elliot are very much like the Cullen family. They walk in and they see Kate, Anastasia's roommate, and Elliot, Christian's brother, in Kate and Anna's apartment. And so they get introduced again, and then Elliot stands up and hugs Anna, and he's like, "Hi, Anna." He smiles, his blue eyes twinkling, and I like him immediately. Then again, so there you are. Cullen family. I'm guessing he's mostly like Emmett, I assume, because Bella was attracted to Emmett in the beginning with like, "Oh, brother, bear," sort of thing. Whatever. And they're just really awkward with their dialogue. Both Elliot and Christian, who say to both girls, "Later's baby," which is really kind of gross and stupid and juvenile. Moving on. So then Christian and Anna have like some sort of date going on in the evening, and so Anna gets all primped with her legs and underarms shaved to perfection, her eyebrows plucked, and she's buffed all over. Whatever. So then they get in this helicopter, and it's possibly the most boring helicopter ride ever written, because helicopter rides aren't really important. They just take forever unless something like really epic happens, which it doesn't. So it's like, what, one? Oh, well, okay, it's kind of interesting, because you kind of get a foreshadowing of Christian Grey and his weirdness. Like, he says, "I like this harness," he whispers, after strapping her in, and it's just like, alright. And then she's staring at him from, like, his profile, because she's sitting beside him, and she's like, "Straight nose, square jawed, I'd like to run my tongue along his jaw. He isn't shaved, and his stubble makes the prospect doubly tempting. I'd like to feel how rough it is beneath my tongue, my fingers against my face." Because we have totally all thought that licking someone's face is the most brilliant and sexiest idea, because soon she's interrupted from her erotic reverie about licking the side of his face. Moving on. More helicopter flying, stupid stuff, and he warns her, "You don't have to do anything you don't want to. You know that, don't you?" Whatever. They get to his house, and it's all sparkly, seriously over-the-top Bill Gates style wealthy. Then he has her sign this agreement, basically saying that she can't disclose anything about Christian Grey or his family or whatever, anything to anyone. Woo. And she's like, "Whatever, I'm just gonna sign it." And he's like, "Are you gonna read it?" And she's like, "No." And then she decides to ask, "Does this mean you're going to make love to me tonight, Christian?" And then he goes, "No, Anastasia, it doesn't. First, I don't make love. I fuck. ... Hard." And then he says, "I want to show you my playroom." And she's like, "You want to play on your Xbox?" And he's like, "No, Anastasia, no Xbox, no PlayStation." And then they go over to this room that he unlocks, and it feels like I've time traveled back to the 16th century and the Spanish Inquisition. Holy fuck. And that's the end of the chapter. Really nothing happens. I guess character development, but it's also banal and boring that you don't really care, and you're just like, okay, when does it start to get really interesting and really raunchy? Next chapter, not really. I haven't gotten to chapter 8 yet. I'm trying to read as I go, so that way I don't jump the gun as much. But we will see. And that is chapter 6. Tomorrow, chapter 7. I haven't really kept tabs in this chapter and all of the different number of times with like the head to the side and the raising of the eyebrows and the murmuring and whatnot, because it just takes a lot of effort to count and flip back through the pages and keep count of it. So maybe tomorrow I'll let you know when I get through chapter 7. But that's all for tonight.